Hey guys, it's Melissa Kathryn and welcome to Done with Dieting Live. This is our weekly show where we help you to stop dieting and start living so you can finally thrive in life in a body that you love. In this week's topic, we're talking about the top 3 powerful steps that you can make that are proven to work to help you to stop eating your emotions, because there is nothing worse than desiring to lose weight and feel great in your body and feel your body going on autopilot. And before you know it, that bag of chips, that entire package of cookies, that bag of popcorn, or that thing of nuts is completely gone, and you're sitting there going, I don't understand what just happened. I specifically told myself I was not going to eat that or this when I come home from work or when I'm at work or when I'm watching TV, and then you go and do it anyway. So I am Melissa Kathryn. I am your host of Done with Dieting Live. We have 2 Done with Dieting series that we've done. It's an annual online event that we do each year, and it was so successful that we decided to turn it into a show that we do here weekly. If you want to learn more about me, head on over to melissakathryn.com, and we can put that link below. I am a nutritionist, a fitness expert, an emotional eating and disordered eating expert and coach. I have helped thousands of women around the world to free them from dieting, to lose weight naturally and easily so that they can truly thrive in life in a body that they love. And that's really what it's all about. So, I have seen so much around being fixated on your weight and having that detract from your happiness and from really going after the things that we want in life. And I saw that within myself, and I've seen that with thousands of women that I've spoken to and worked with, and that we've supported in this mission and being done with dieting. And once they see, when they are on the other side, just how beautiful it is to be there, and how many years they spent counting calories, making themselves wrong, doing all of these things that actually took away from them being present to their lives and to the amazingness that's in it. So once they saw what that was like, they went, oh my God, why didn't I learn this sooner? Where have you been? And so my hope is to help as many women as possible, actually millions is my desire, to truly be free and to shine bright and to thrive in life in a body that they love, and to do it without restriction, without deprivation, without making themselves wrong, and without fearing food or having food be put in good and bad food categories. So like I said, I'm your host. I'm Melissa Kathryn, and let's get started in today's Done with Dieting Live. So Lori, it is so good to see you. Where are you from, girl? Talk to me. Anybody that comes on, please announce yourself, say where you're from. I want to meet you, I want to know you, I want to support you, and I want to love you up. Let me know any questions that you have, just put them in the box below. So today, again, we're talking about 3 powerful steps to help you to stop eating your emotions. The number one thing that actually keeps the weight on and takes you out of losing weight and keeping it off is eating your emotions. How many times have you started to lose weight and you feel great, and for whatever reason you self-sabotage? I hear this all the time. I have this from clients to just women in our community that say, the minute that I start to lose weight and I get attention or I start to get compliments, I don't feel comfortable, and I notice that I start sabotaging myself and I'm putting the weight back on. It's not comfortable. It's either can be uncomfortable because you're getting too much attention, or you once got attention and bad things happened, or you didn't feel safe in your body, or the attention that you get is actually feels like a lot of pressure. Like all of a sudden now everyone's monitoring your weight loss and monitoring your body and really heightened and honed in on you. And that again can be uncomfortable when you spent years hiding and not being seen or not feeling comfortable in your body. Do you get what I'm saying? So when we're really looking at the 3 powerful steps to stop eating your emotions, number 1, there are 2 types of cravings that I work with my clients on, and that I teach in Weight Loss for Life and and with my private clients in my Jumpstart program and in 4 Weeks to Fat Loss. And these 2 high joy, Joy, it is so good to see you, girl. And Soraya, what's going on? Mississippi Gulf Coast, I love it. Lori, where are we from? And Soraya, Cher, it is so good to see you, girl. And I hope you got my answer in the Done with Dieting group. Okay, so 3 powerful steps to stop eating our emotions. If at any time when I'm talking and you have questions about something that I'm saying, please post them below. Okay, and I will make sure either to get to them on this video or on another one, because we do them weekly here. Okay, and also another thing that I want to share with you, please stay on till the end. We create amazing free gifts for you each week. So we create a specific free gift that is in complete alignment to help move you forward from each of these trainings. So each Done with Dieting Live is a 30-minute segment. Sometimes they go a little bit longer depending on how much of an intro and questions. Essentially, I've created them to be mini trainings. They're like, it's almost like you're having me as your private coach, and we're sitting in my living room, and I'm able to help you with that. Lori Edgewater, what's up, girl? I used to live in Hoboken before I lived in the city, before I moved to California. So I love Edgewater. It's so beautiful. Okay, so what I wanted to say to you is all of the Facebook Lives, all the Done with Dieting Lives that we do, they are mini trainings. You can go back to watch any of them on this page. You simply go under videos and they're all there. You can go back to the Healthy Holiday Helper series. Any of these, watch them as much as you need to. Please share them with friends of yours that you know would be helpful. With each training, for the most part, I would say 90% of them, we have a gift. We have a free gift that we give you. These gifts are set up to help give you literally step-by-step training to help support you in your plight with being done with dieting, to lose weight effortlessly, and to truly thrive in life in a body that you love. You're going to hear me say this over and over again. It is my mission statement, and I love it, and I stand behind it. Because when you are being bogged down by your weight and constantly thinking that you're less than due to a number on the scale, or because of your pant size, or because you don't think you look the way you should, then you are not present to your life. You're not loving your life, and you're not living big in your life. You're not stepping into the greatness that was given to you. And many of my clients, after they go through my programs, in fact, all of them will say, you know, I now see myself. I see myself and I see how beautiful I was. I can't believe I didn't want to be seen before. I can't believe I was embarrassed of my body or these pictures, and now I want to be seen, and I want this career, and I want amazing sex, and I want this relationship with my man, and I want, and they're not afraid of asking for it, right? They're not putting their lives on hold because they think that there's something wrong with them and they need to just lose the weight, and then all things will magically become amazing, because they don't. Trust me. I won Best Body. It didn't make me a happy person. I looked like a fitness model. It didn't all of a sudden cure my relationship with me and my relationships. You know, it didn't all of a sudden make me and my boyfriend the best couple ever. And, you know, all of a sudden I wasn't like, I'm so confident and comfortable in my body. I still had the same hangups. I still didn't feel comfortable being seen. I still didn't feel comfortable being naked. I didn't feel comfortable wearing certain clothes. You would think, oh, once you get to 10% body fat and, you know, you're given a trophy that you would. It doesn't work that way. We have to heal the inner for the outer. It's not just, oh, let me fix the outside and all things will be great. No, you have to fix the inside. All of my programs are an inner and outer transformation. And anybody that's sitting there like, I just want the 90-day fix, I want the magic pill, I don't want to do that work. It's not work to become the best version of you. It's fun, it's exciting, and I am going to say there are some dark times, but there's nothing darker than the years spent dieting and making yourself wrong. Really, there isn't. And any of my clients can attest to that. And going to places that you're afraid to go when you're being held and supported and guided there, trust me, it's a beautiful place to be, and it's so much better than being in your crazy head by yourself. That's not fun, and I've done that too, which is why I created my programs. So let's really dive into this. 3 steps to stop eating your emotions. So like I said, stay on till the end. We have a gift for you. We have gifts that tie into every one of these free trainings that you do. So try never to miss a week. Share them with your friends. Come live. Ask me questions. Join the free Done With Dieting Facebook community where you get more of me. And you get even deeper trainings where we actually take it a step further. Okay, so let's go into this and let's just get started. Number 1, when we're looking at this, there are 2 types of cravings that I work with clients on. I've studied the emotions behind food, why we reach for the foods when we do, what's going on for us, and then actually the emotional connection. So there's so much scientific, how do I say this? Just research. I mean, honestly, there's so much around, and I was actually out last night and somebody was asking me about this and I was sharing what I was talking about today, and they said to me, yeah, but there's so much scientific research. Don't you think there's something in your brain that signals that you then need to go and have those foods? And I say, yes, I do. And however, that's not really what I speak to. Yes, sugar's more addictive than crack, heroin, and cocaine. We know this. And we know that once you start having sugar, you're going to want more. Yes. And I also come from the space that it's not just sugar in and of itself. There is an emotional connection to a specific type of carb. I need some water. You guys can't see my beautiful flowers. Aren't they pretty? They're like my faves. I love roses. I just love flowers. Anyway, you can't see them. If I could turn you. Okay. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. My point is, so getting back to this, when we're looking at the scientific nature, yes, there are scientific studies that are going to support a lot of things that go on with our amygdala and why there are different like brain receptors that go to, yes, all of that stuff. Yes, there is evidence around that. And what I actually see and what I've studied and what I am really an expert in and what I help women break free from is desensitizing their emotional attachments to food. So each of you right now get your pen and paper and I want you to write down what are those specific trigger foods for you. There are specific foods that you know if they are in your house, you are going to think about them nonstop and you are going to not stop eating them until the entire thing is done. What would that be for you? Is it chips? Is it popcorn? Is it ice cream? Is it chocolate? What is that thing for you? What is that thing where you're like, if this was around all the time, I would eat it all? So I want you to write that down. Okay? Now, those of you that have followed me, you may have done this exercise before, and it definitely does not hurt you to do it again. When it comes to our emotions and eating our emotions, there are 2 types of cravings. There are head cravings and there are heart cravings. A head craving is characterized as essentially what we will say it is a stress craving. It comes from wanting crunchy foods. We want things that can be like nuts, Chex Mix, popcorn, trail mix, gum, celery, sugar snap peas, carrots, cereal, anything that we can crunch on. A lot of smokers fall into this category. It takes them out of that emotion. So I want you to think about what that is. Share below. Thank you, Lori. Yes, chips and cookies. Great. Okay. Linda, I love your crazy head too, girl. It's so good to see you. And Judith, no worries. We will connect another time. So here's the deal. When we're going into our emotions, when we're looking at head cravings, they come around from a stressed response. And it's also because there's something that you want to chew on in life. You are not in a space of feeling in control. There is a lack of control. So think about these times when you want to stress eat, when you're just sitting there mindlessly putting food in your mouth and all of a sudden you look down and you're like, what just happened? You're wanting something in that moment. You're wanting to feel something. You're wanting to escape something. Think about that. Think about when that comes on for you. Right? So generally the questions that I want you to ask yourself when we're looking at a head craving is, where are you not feeling in control in that moment? So again, we're going to go back to this. There are 4 specific questions that you want to ask yourself, and I want each of you to write these down. It will be your saving grace. Am I really hungry right now? What's going on in my life right now? Is food going to solve the problem? What can I do instead? Am I really hungry right now? What's going on in my life right now? Is food going to solve this problem? And what can I do instead? Many of you experience this stress craving at 4 o'clock or at 8 o'clock. The kids go to bed, your husband goes to bed, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you're kind of sitting there, there's this loneliness, there's this feeling, and all of a sudden you're on the sofa and you just keep getting up and going to the fridge. Or you do it when you're making dinner. Munch, 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 right? And it's mindless, right? Or it's about 4 o'clock. Generally, these types of cravings don't come on in the earlier hours, right? It's these later in the days, and it's when we've had a lot of pressure on us, a lot of stress on us, there's a lot required from us energetically, and we're in a space where we're just feeling depleted, and often we still have responsibilities that we have to do. We still have to pick up the kids, we still have to make dinner, we still have to finish that outline for work, we still have to finish that project, we still have to work out, there's all of these requirements from us, and it feels exhausting. And what we really want to do is not do any of them. We want to escape it. But we can't escape it because it's a part of our lives. So what we've learned is a coping mechanism around food. And we've tied in food as a direct response to ease our anxiety, to give us a sense of an escape or a direction that's going to help us in that moment. See, our emotions and our emotional ties to food are all tied to coping mechanisms. They are not meant to hurt you. They are not meant to be like, I just want to keep weight on my body and struggle forever. That's my voice, by the way, for my cravings. I just want to keep weight on my body. And, they're not doing that. And I know we curse them and we're like, but why? Why do I still want these things? So that's going to be part 2 of this, but stick with me here. So this is step 1. So we're wanting these crunchy cravings. Now this is a head craving. Now you might be listening to this and going, Melissa, I don't have this craving. I don't really want to crunch on things. I don't really get what you're talking about, but I want to remind you, a head craving is when you feel that you are needing control. There's a lack of control, and what I want you to write down is, what do I want to chew on in life? Because there's something that you actually need to do, and many times I find that my clients, and when my clients experience a head craving, it's because they're not taking action on things that they're saying that they're wanting. So for instance, they're saying over and over again that they want to lose weight, but they're not actually doing anything about it. They're saying that they want to get a new job, but they're not looking for one. They're saying that they want to increase their communication in their relationship, but they're not. Or they want to, there's just, a multitude, that you have hobbies. There's things that you're wanting to do that you're not doing, or things that you're supposed to have completed, like your bills or your budgets, or things that you're just like, I hate doing this. And you keep putting it off and procrastinating. The procrastination, right, will lead you to food, because you will find anything and everything to not do that thing that you're supposed to do, okay? So now the next type of craving, Erin Bellis girl, what is going on? I love you. I have not seen you. She's an old client of mine. I love her to death. Auntie, it's so good to see you here. I love you. Coming in from hot Atlanta and on a treadmill. What's up? What's better than that? A little Done With Dieting live on the treadmill. And Maria, so happy to hear you. I want a glass of wine or something, chocolate. Yeah. So you're in my next camp. So first we've got head cravings. Now we're going to move into the wine and the chocolate lovers. So ladies, stick with me here because I got your back. Okay. So what that really is that's a heart craving. So what goes on with heart cravings? Well, heart cravings generally come from a lack of fulfillment, a lack of pleasure, a lack of fun, a lack of play, a lack of relaxation, a lack of joy, a lack of ease, a lack of vacation time, a lack of good sex, a lack of intimacy, a lack of connection. So I want, Maria, think about the things that I just said. Where do those speak to you? Where is there a lack of those things in your life? So anybody that's struggling and doesn't have those, we will seek out food because it gives us that instant gratification, right? Food is going to give us that pleasure. right? It's going to hit our pleasure receptors from a scientific standpoint, right? It's going to give us, it's like, oh, right. Did anybody watch Sex and the City? I don't know if you remember this, but there was one, I love Sex and the City, and maybe it's because I lived in New York when that whole show was going on, and I'm like, this show is truthfully the reality of New York. There was an episode where Samantha wasn't having sex, and she was eating like batches of brownies, right? Like she was going nuts with like chocolate and brownies like a crazy person. And she was just substituting them. And then she was like, I can't fit in my fat jeans, you know? Like my fat jeans aren't even big enough for me because I put on like 10 pounds in like 2 days, right? Guys, like ladies, truly, if you are, I love the floating hearts, thank you. Guys, just hit the hearts. Like, let's just get a ton of them because we all need play and pleasure. We need more fun. All of my clients know this. When you add more fun to your lives, which I force you to do so much, when you have more fun in your life, when you are playing more, when you are just more joyous. One of my clients just got back from 6 weeks in Bali. She brought her kids and she was like, I never thought I could do this. When you have more of that, she lost 6 kilos. That's like 12 pounds in 6 weeks being in Bali on vacation because she was simply enjoying. She was still working when she was there. She started her own business a year ago, but she was enjoying. She was having fun. She was living life. We are not meant to just sit and constantly analyze and overanalyze ourselves and make ourselves wrong. Thank you for the hearts and the emojis. And make ourselves wrong and analyze our eating habits and weigh ourselves incessantly. It's like slapping yourself across the face over and over and over again. That's not the way to lose weight. That's not the way to keep it off, and that's not the way to enjoy your life and to celebrate you. And if you're not celebrating you, then what the hell are we doing here? If you're not having fun, what is the point of all of this? The end of your life, you're not going to say, I really wish I dieted more. You're going to say, God, why didn't I realize how good I looked? I thought I was overweight then. What the hell was I thinking? Or God, why didn't I just travel? Or why didn't I have more fun? Or why didn't I go on date nights? And why didn't I have better sex? And why didn't I enjoy the food when I ate it? This is life, and you're supposed to be in living and enjoying and having a great time. Going out with friends, it's not meant to be so serious. And when we're stuck overanalyzing ourselves to death, yes, you are going to end up eating your emotions because you are devoid of pleasure and fun. You are devoid of the things that life is meant to be about. And you are overanalyzing yourself, which means you're in a highly restrictive, deprivation-filled state that leaves little room. And when our bodies are lacking that, it's just like a plant that's sitting there needing sunlight. It's not getting any sunlight. Of course, it's going to die. Right? So I really want you to get that the more that you restrict, the more that you deprive, the more that you overanalyze yourself, the more that you make yourself wrong, and the more that you obsess over food and the way that you eat and the way that you didn't eat and the calories that you did eat and going to bed, all of those things, that's what leads you to overeating. That's what leads you to putting the weight back on. That's what leads to self-sabotage. So when we go into the second form, the second craving, I really want you to see a head craving is from a lack of fulfillment. That's when you're going to want your cookies, your chips, your cheeses, your wines, right? It's when you're going to want savory, creamy, decadent ice cream. You're going to want cookies and pastries. And all of these relate back to emotions and times in your life when you ate those things and you felt something that you're in desperate need to feel again. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me? Please let me know if you're with me. Does that make sense? Yes or no? And if it does, think about the foods that you wrote down that you go to and what are the memories linked to those? What are the feelings that you have that are linked to those? Are they of memories with your parents or when you felt secure and loved? Thank you, guys. Awesome. I'm so glad you're with me. Are they times when you felt struggle? Are they times generally when we want these foods, when we're in a space of fight or flight within ourselves? Then it's usually because those foods represent people, or sorry, a call just came in, or experiences in our lives that gave us a sense of joy, of ease, of serenity, of peace. And we want to go back there. Okay? So I just want you to know that the gift that we just posted below, this is going to help you with your head and heart cravings. And I just want you to know, so make sure to go sign up for that. Do not go right now because I'm not done yet. I got 2 more steps. 2 more. 2. So one was head and heart cravings. And my gift that you're getting, when you go to this next page, when you go on that link, you'll see. You just put your name and email in, and it's going to come right to your inbox. So that's step 1, okay? Next step is understanding this. There are 3 stages when you stop eating your emotions. I work heavily on this in our Weight Loss for Life program. We actually have full dedicated, like 90 days out of that program just in the emotional eating space, because when you actually heal this, losing weight is like that. It's not a problem. But until you actually do this and take action on it. So there are 3 stages that I want you to understand. The first stage, basically people come to me and they say, Melissa, I'm highly aware that I'm sabotaging myself. I'm eating when I'm not hungry, and I'm eating these certain foods, and I know that it's causing the weight gain. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm so sick of it. I see that it's a pattern that I've been doing in my life. No matter what diets I've tried, they're not working. And I explain it's not about a diet. You can be on diets for the rest of your life. You have to get to the root cause and actually heal what causes you to continually go back to food. You've never, where there's lack, you will fill those gaps with food. You've never actually gone back and understood what the gap was, what was the root of the gap, and healed the gap, freeing to, i.e. free you from this food. So then that food will always have an emotional hold on you, and therefore you will never be able to have it in your home, right? Because you will always want to eat it all, right? Because you haven't desensitized the emotional attachment to it. So there are 3 stages. The first stage that my clients, after they come to me, we work on, right, is they get to a place where they go, okay, so now I'm in the place where I see myself wanting to binge. I see myself overeating. The food doesn't taste good though anymore. There's no joy in it, but I'm still doing it. Now what? What do I do now? I'm still doing it, right? The second stage to that, so is anybody there right now where you know that that food isn't serving you, but you're still binging on it or overeating it, but it's actually doesn't even feel good anymore. You're not even getting any joy or pleasure from it. You're actually sitting there still left feeling really empty and just kind of like, well, this sucks. Okay, so that's stage 1. So the next stage to that I take my clients on is recognizing where they actually start to take actions on the things that they know are going to serve them. And they stop eating the foods. So it's not an overnight thing. And so ladies that are sitting there, I want you to get it's not an overnight thing. It's going to be time, right? Because you've been doing something now for decades. So now it's about how do we get really through that? And what I want to tell you is step 2 of that is once you get brought to the phase, and it's not necessarily something I can teach like in a minute. This is something that I take people on in my programs, in particular in Weight Loss for Life, but this is where we really dive deep to get through this, because it is one of those things where that instant gratification, that's always going to be there. So how do we get ourselves out of that? So what I want to tell you is the second phase. So the first phase is you're highly aware of what you're doing, but it no longer brings you any gratification, but you're still doing it anyway, and it's annoying you, right? The next stage is I'm aware of what I'm doing, but I no longer am angry with myself. There's no guilt, there's no shame. I'm aware of what I'm doing, and sometimes I take the right course of action, and I don't eat when I'm not hungry, and I don't do these things. And sometimes I still do, and I really want to get to that place where I don't at all. So there's still some emotional attachment and some crutch. The next and final phase, though, is food is just food. Food is fuel. I can enjoy, let's just say it was brownies. I can enjoy brownies, but they have no emotional hold over me. I don't seek them out when I'm distraught. I don't seek them out when I'm sad. I don't seek them out in other form other than if I want to have a brownie, and I can have 1 brownie or I can have 100 brownies. It has no bearing on my happiness or on my belief around weight loss or on my health. And usually 1 brownie does the trick. I don't want more than that. It's just food to me. There is no restriction around it. It's not, I had one brownie, well, all or nothing mentality, let me eat the tray, or let me have a multitude. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean that I've gone backwards on my diet. It just means I wanted a brownie and I had a brownie and I enjoyed the brownie. So that's the final phase, and that's where my clients get to, where there is actually no real tie to it. So for those of you that are in stage 1 or 2, what I really want to encourage you to do is 1, have compassion, 2, stay consistent, 3, stay committed. These are my 4 C's that I teach. And 4, really recognizing and making a list of what are those activities that are going to feel just as good as the food that you're actually needing in that moment, going back to the 4 questions that I posed in step 1 of this video, okay? And the last and final stage here, which is really, really important that I want you guys to get, is going to the root. And in order to really stop eating our emotions, you have to go to the root of where it came from. And that's what step 1 is really going to help you to do. Right? When you understand the difference between head cravings and heart cravings, and really understand the root cause of where they come from and how it's showing up for you in your present day life, and the things that you can do instead, that will make a dramatic difference on the actions that you take and your relationship to those foods and to yourself, because you'll start being your own best friend and partner. The other piece of this that ties in with that, getting to the root, is no more restricting. Restriction only causes rebellion. I'm going to say that again, and I really want you guys to hear this. Restriction only causes rebelling. You will rebel against yourself. When you have food in a category of good and bad, and you have an entire long list of bad foods and then your list of foods that you can eat are bland, and your diet for the week is very boring, and it's constantly on repeat, you inevitably will rebel. And when you are put in circumstances like going to the movies or a date night out or any social situation, it will be the trigger for you to sabotage yourself and derail yourself. And in order for that not to happen, we have to remove our emotional attachment to these foods. Actually understand what it is we're needing in those moments and what is devoid in our lives that's causing us to go back to those foods in those moments, because there are things that are missing. Remember, where there is lack, you will fill those gaps with food. Unless you identify the lack and those gaps and you get down to the root, you will inevitably cause yourself to derail yourself, sabotage your diet, and end up going in the wrong direction, right? So we want to reduce and eliminate shame and guilt around foods, and really be in a space of recognizing that you eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're full, and that your body is working with you, not against you, that we're in full partnership. So again, I just want to go through these steps with you guys to really make sure that you get it. And then I want you to make sure to click on that link, because that's your free gift that we're giving you. Again, every Done With Dieting Live is your own free mini training. This is your own coaching session to work on a variety of different things that are coming up for you in your life. And we have an entire batch that we have set out. I've asked you all in the Done With Dieting group what is going on for you. I posed different topics that we're going to be having, and I took on everything that you guys said. So if you're not in that group already, head on over there. It's a private closed group. And we have an approval process there to make sure that we have the right community in there. So definitely just ask to be in. And there you could get even more support, daily inspiration, and coaching and guidance from me on a deeper level. And on top of that, we have our free gift below, where you're going to be taken into another video training and a worksheet that's going to help support you in the 3 steps to stop eating your emotions. So step 1, we went through the types of cravings, the emotional cravings that take place, and how to get around them, giving you exact action steps and talking you through the different processes and the phases. Step 2 was going through the 3 steps that actually are in the process, in this process of really removing the emotion from food to help you to not eat your emotions and actually be able to cope with life without food. And step 3 was recognizing that you need to get to the root and helping to take you to that place where you can get to the root and actually remove restriction so that you stop rebelling. So I want to thank you so much. Oh my God, Lori, it's so good to see you. Allison Rayo, what is up, girl? Oh my God, she was like one of my first bosses ever in New York City. She's awesome. Maria, it's so good to see you. Melanie, I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for showing up. High school friend, this is so much fun. Anyway, guys, I just want to thank you so much for being here. We try to keep these short and concise and bite-sized pieces so that you can get the most out of your time and really propel you forward in being done with dieting, losing weight, and thriving in life in a body that you love. I want to thank you so much for being here. Next week, we're steps to overcoming perfectionism so that we can move out of procrastination. There's a lot of P's here. Out of procrastination and into weight loss without being on a diet. So thank you so much for being here. Head on over to the Done with Dieting group, and then also make sure to get your free gift. I just want to thank you again for showing up, for being you, and remember, thrive in life in a body that you love. Stop dieting, start living, and add a ton of juicy pleasure to your life, and take time to do the exercises that I give you in these trainings, and you will be that much closer not only to your ideal body, but to your ideal life. Thank you so much for being here. See you next week, guys.